right. Let's get 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 right.
You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dealatofficial. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me, subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode, and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat, get you something to drink, get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, family. Wow. Let's get into this here.
Turning now to an alarming arrest. Boxer Gervonta Davis is now in trouble with the law once again. Authorities issuing a warrant for his arrest today.
And the well-known boxer is facing domestic violence charges involving a former girlfriend. In Local 10's Roy Ramos, live in Miami Gardens with more on what we know so far. Roy?
Calvin and Nicole, investigators say that the victim tells them she was not involved in a relationship with Davis at the time that this all allegedly happened, but did show up to the Miami Gardens Police Department with injuries after she claims that Davis abused her.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis.
Professional boxer Gervonta "Tank" Davis once again finding himself on the wrong side of the law and once again on charges that stem from an alleged domestic violence incident.
Battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping.
Miami Gardens police said it was October 29th. A woman claiming to be involved in an intimate relationship with Davis since 2022 arrived at the police department with her lawyer alleging Davis physically abused her.
The victim reported sustaining minor injuries, including visible bruising to her left arm at the time the report was made, and she sought medical attention.
Investigators said just days prior, surveillance video shows Davis arrived to a gentleman's club where the victim was working.
The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other.
The victim only able to get away after he released her. Turns out this is not Davis's first run-in with the law involving domestic violence. In 2020, he was seen grabbing his then-girlfriend by the throat at a celebrity basketball game. In 2022, I was there as he bonded out of the Broward County Jail after being arrested for allegedly hitting an ex-girlfriend in the face. But most recently, in July of 2025, we were there as he bonded out of a Miami-Dade County jail after allegedly striking the mother of his child in the back of the head. Now, it's U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force assisting the Miami Gardens Police Department as they work to arrest Davis on new charges. And at last check, Davis still has not been arrested. He is still not in custody. That said, I have reached out to the attorney representing him to find out if they are aware of this arrest warrant and if he will turn himself in. As soon as we get more details on that, we'll be sure to let you know. For now in Miami Gardens, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
One of boxing's biggest stars now has an active arrest warrant. And this isn't just local police anymore. The U.S. Marshals are officially involved. Here's what happened, what the charges are, and why this situation just escalated.
We are here to address a domestic violence incident involving professional boxer Gervonta Davis, also known as Tank. The victim reported that Mr. Davis grabbed her by her back of her head, pulling her by her hair with one hand and by her throat with the other. He forcefully escorted her down a stairway and toward the parking garage while maintaining his grip on the back of her head. The victim further reported they were previously involved in an intimate relationship for approximately 5 months. Lead detective Gary Florencio obtained and reviewed video surveillance footage that corroborates key elements of the victim's statement. As a result of the diligent and hard work of our Special Victims Unit, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Bryant Davis on the following charges: battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. The investigation determined that Mr. Davis used force to restrain and attempt to remove the victim from the location against her will. The Miami Gardens Police Department is actively working with the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and apprehend Mr. Davis.
What's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV. And let's get straight into it, because this is a serious and developing situation involving Gervonta Davis. So what exactly happened? According to law enforcement and court documentation, an arrest warrant has been issued for Gervonta Davis stemming from an alleged domestic violence incident that reportedly took place back in October in Miami Gardens, Florida. Police say the incident occurred at a gentleman's club where the alleged victim worked. The charges listed on the warrant are battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping. As of now, authorities say that Gervonta has not turned himself in, which is a critical detail in how this case has unfolded. And this is where things change. Miami Gardens police confirmed they are working now with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to locate and arrest Gervonta Davis. This doesn't just happen automatically. When someone has an active warrant and law enforcement believes they may be difficult to locate, avoiding contact, or capable of crossing jurisdictions, U.S. Marshals are often brought in. For you guys wondering, what exactly do the U.S. Marshals do? I got you. They are the oldest federal law enforcement agency in the country, operating under the Department of Justice, and they specialize in the following: tracking and arresting fugitives, assisting with high-profile warrants, running joint task forces with local police, protecting federal courts and judges. So when the marshals get involved, it's not like some small thing. It signals that authorities are treating the situation with a heightened level of urgency. So what does this mean for Gervonta's next fights, his career going forward? Well, one, I think he has to focus on this case, right? You know, if he is convicted, it could lead to some jail time, and that's obviously going to postpone any plans he has for any fights in the future. You know, this incident made it so that Anthony Joshua went in and took his spot for the Jake Paul fight that happened a few weeks back last December at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida. I know if they do resolve this issue, they work something out, that the next couple of fights for Tank are going to be very much put under a microscope. He's going to have a lot of potentially negative attention, criticism from the public on those fights. I know there's lucrative rematches there for him with Lamont Roach, with Pitbull Cruz, amongst other fighters. The winner of potentially Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez would be a big fight for him as well. But you got to ask yourself too, how are the commissions going to react to this, and if they're going to give any issues to him in terms of licensing him for fights in their state. It's important to say this clearly. These are accusations at this point. He hasn't been convicted of anything. But unresolved legal issues like this just don't disappear overnight, especially once federal resources are involved. We'll continue to track this story and give you updates as they happen. Go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section and let us know what you think about the whole situation. And keep it here to the channel. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button for more videos like this and interviews in the coming weeks in the world of boxing and combat sports. For Fight Up TV, I'm Marcos Villegas. Thank you guys for watching.
They on the hunt for Gervonta Tank Davis. Miami Garden police announced they are looking for Gervonta Davis. They are working with the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force on charges of false imprisonment, battery, and attempted kidnapping involving his ex-girlfriend. Now look, first and foremost, I don't condone what's been alleged. I don't condone men hurting women and women hurting men. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's some history with Gervonta Tank Davis, and where, of course, people's never gonna forget about the infamous viral moment when he was manhandling his baby mom and rushed out the arena. But also, there's a flip side to that. There's also been a situation where the woman lied on Gervonta Davis. So I understand that every time that there's an issue with Gervonta Tank Davis and a woman, they're always gonna remember that viral moment. But also you gotta take it into account that he's been lied on as well. So I could be on the fence on this one, right? I'm on neutral grounds here. But you know, the unfortunate and sad part is that Gervonta Tank Davis throughout 2025, if you look at all the interviews that he had, and he had very few, all he was talking about was therapy, seeking therapy, bettering himself, you know. But what did the world of boxing was saying? Man, we just want him to fight. Man, stop that weak ass stuff. Man, who's gonna be the next fight? Man, stop ducking. While he's trying to seek therapy and bettering himself, and also saying that he's gonna retire, people didn't allow him. And of course, you gotta make your own decision and stuff like that. But the world around him, in his sport, and probably the people around him that he takes care of, wouldn't allow him to seek that type of help. Let's recall these interviews.
I feel though if I do therapy, it would lose the fire that I have inside me. I'm thinking about even getting angry, you know what I mean? Because I have two girls, two daughters. I'm wanting to be much. softer. You know, that's why I don't want to box no more. I want to do therapy, right?
Seek therapy, become a better person.
Like that little boy chapter that you hold on to your past that you want to let go, but I can't really let go in front of people and things like that.
Right.
So if I can remove everything and work with myself, like going back to school, getting therapy, and
I think that anger comes from
what I've been through, being betrayed, being that would change me as a man. That would build me more than a boxer.
And it's true that you don't think you can do therapy and be a pro boxer. And you can ask this one, why?
Because I still gotta build myself up. I still gotta build myself up and be angry to fight. Wait till I'm done with the sport and just get therapy and work on myself. Even me going back to school, I want to go back to school. Definitely want to do therapy.
All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis and a conversation that I'd had with a team member with Gervonta Davis well ahead of these arrest warrants being issued for Gervonta. Let's talk about that in this video. Gervonta Davis's camp a few weeks ago, well before this arrest warrant was issued. And I can tell you certain details of that conversation really did enlighten me as to what is going on. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you guys so much for what you do. It makes a huge difference. But let's get into this. Because big story is that Gervonta Davis has an arrest warrant out for him. He has an arrest warrant issued for him in Florida as a result of accusations made by a woman that said that he had assaulted her, that he had attempted to kidnap her out of a strip club called Tootsie's in Florida. Now, I had a conversation shortly after this stuff had come out with somebody that is closely associated with Gervonta Davis's team. And I can assure you that they had expected for the warrant to be issued for Gervonta Davis. They just did not know when that was going to happen. And the reason that they said that they believed that it was going to happen was because it was going to be necessary to do that for the civil suit. And he still maintained his innocence, still said that what they say has happened is not what happened. Now, there is something I gotta say. First and foremost, I in no way, shape, form, or fashion support any men putting their hands on women outside of very needed self-defense. Let me explain that. If a woman does not have a knife in her hand, if she does not have something in her hand that can hurt you, then you should probably try to find a way not to put your hands on her. So I am telling you very much that if it is true that Gervonta Davis did this and it is what it is, then Gervonta Davis should suffer the consequences of his actions, including if that has legal, civil, and criminal penalties, if that is what he did. However, I don't want to ever be the type of person that does not allow people the presumption of innocence. I never want to be the type of person that can look at somebody and say, I don't care whether or not he's had a court date or not. I believe the people that accused him, let's do something about that. And the reason why I am not that type of person, and I would never want to be that type of person, is because I took a lot of history classes in school, and specifically about Black people in America. There are all kind of Black men that have been railroaded by eyewitness testimony, people that have had things, people that have accused them of things that they've spent years in jail for, and then you find out years and years later that the real story starts coming out. Also, I do not put it past police officers. I don't put it past public servants to try to do things to grandstand for the sake of publicity. See, I'm balancing those two things. The one is that if a person does something and they go through the legal process, then they have to face their consequences. Don't do the crime if you don't want to pay the time, do the time, don't do the crime. I understand that, but that is after the person is convicted, after he's had his day in court. Before he or she has had their day in court, there is a presumption of innocence over that person. And you want that to be there. Why? Because you want that to be there for your son. You want that to be there for your daughter. You want that to be there for yourself. And if you're a part of if you're a part of the mob, if you're a part of the hanging crew that says, no, this girl said that this black boy touched her, that's all we need. He shouldn't be able to work anymore. He shouldn't have a day in court. This is too many. No, that is for when the judge and the jury, if there is a jury, the judge and the jury and the lawyers have done their job. So again, Gervonta Davis, and I was told this a ways back, expected for this to come, was prepared for this to come. And don't be surprised if the case doesn't go the way that you think it will go. But me, personally, I like Gervonta Davis as a fighter very, very much. I'm a big fan of him, of the people at Upton Gym. I've seen several people in Upton Gym have problems legally that wound up going away magically. For example, several years ago, Calvin Ford, I do believe, got arrested in Las Vegas for something. I think it was for pulling a gun on somebody and attempted murder. They tried to put Coach Calvin away for that not too long ago. What happened with that? They put it all over the paper. They wound up putting him where he had to sit up in jail for a while, but eventually he got off the charge and he was out, and he kept moving things, and things keep moving for Calvin Ford. What I hope is that this is a similar situation, that it winds up being that Gervonta Davis did not physically beat this girl up. But I have to tell you, the way that it was described sounds so similar to the incident that was on tape where Gervonta Davis cuffed that girl and walked her out, that a reasonable person would say, okay, this is what he's accused of. I see him on tape of doing that. Okay, let me just draw the conclusion that he obviously must have done that. That, again, is why there is a legal process, because that is how the human mind works, but that is not necessarily how it always is. And that's what I'm hoping, that it is not what it says it is. But again, if it is what it is, then he goes through court, and that's the end of the day. And if his boxing career winds up suffering or ending because of it, man, that's got to be put right up on Gervonta Davis. However, I don't really think that Gervonta is really tripping too much on an extended boxing career. It doesn't sound like he was looking like he was going to be sticking around for the next 5-10 years. But, you never want to see a young man go to jail like that. But again, you also never want to see a young lady snatched up by a guy that, she believes wants to kidnap her or really wants to do some type of damage to her. Because, you really, truly never know what people are going to do. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. I'm really, really, really hoping for the best for Gervonta. I'm hoping that this situation works itself out, because Gervonta is a very, very vital part of American boxing right now. And I'm a huge boxing fan. So, of course, I want to see him go on. I want to see him continue. But, sometimes shit happens. Like Mike Vick, what happened with Michael Vick with the dog fighting and all of that, man. They just ran that dude's career down into the mud, man, over stuff that he probably didn't think was that big a deal. And Gervonta Davis might not think it's that big a deal to scuffle up a girl, but obviously it is. Anyway, but hopefully he didn't do it. That's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.
All right, you guys. So, Ticket TV, like, share, and subscribe. If y'all tap on this building, man. And I'm right back at.
Hit that like button right now. Double tap that screen. You and her with Dilla T and my fam. You know there's no filters. Chris is colder than that thing, boy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You better put on them long jeans. And you better put on a double. And you better put on a triple. I'm trying to tell you. That's the only way you're gonna get it done for the day and come back in one piece. You better put them long jeans on. You better put that double up on. Then you better put that triple on, fam. And they're gonna get you. See, with me, I put the light layers on so I can keep moving. You feel me? So don't nothing slow me down. You feel me? Because I gotta keep going. You feel me? So what's the difference, fam? You know what I'm saying? Roof in the building. Talking about she loves summertime. We know it. Hit that like button, double tap that screen right now. You know what's going on up in here.
In the building, man. You already know what it is. We'll get right into this video, man. So, boxing superstar, Gervonta Tank Davis, man, once again arrested, taken into custody after a woman who showed up to the police station, beat the hell up, and basically said that Tank Davis beat her up. Yeah. Hold on.
Can you believe that? And it's a lot to be said, but see, for me, when you put up on Dilla T, I want to know everybody's point of view first before I go in and start cooking folk. So that's why I let people come in so we can understand everybody's point of view about what they think about it. And then when I say, and then when it's done,
right,
I get the last
hold on
word.
a second, man. Salute everybody tapped on in. Y'all already know what's up, man. Tank Davis, superstar boxer, have been arrested again. He's been taken into custody. I don't know if he's gonna get bail this time, man. There's just too many incidents, man. They're basically saying that he beat up another woman, y'all. They're basically saying this guy beat up another woman. They're saying that she showed up to the police station, beat up, and basically said that Tank Davis beat her up. How many women are gonna accuse this?
We know you just came in. Okay, we know. Because I just said roof in the building. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen what happened. Gervonta Tank Davis is in the headlines once again for allegedly beating a chick up, bing, bow, boom, bang, some taking kids or something, and some lawful enforcement type stuff, like you holding somebody against their will or something, you know. What makes me just undecided and understood is that a woman could not tell the truth about this type of stuff and know that they got power because all it takes is that. But also, you can only keep being in the headlines for the same exact things only so many times for people to not think that you're guilty. We seen you drag somebody about her. We seen you bang somebody. Now it's poo pow. And we didn't see it. But it's the same results of the accusations been heard before. Just like Tyler Perry. How many times you gonna keep being in the news for the same thing? But y'all talking about, oh, well, you know, he gonna get his day in court. That's fine. Same men, same situation, same setup, same ending. Now Gervonta Tank Davis in the headline. First of all, boy, you got all that money. Boy, let me say this for the people in the back. That boy got all that money. You got all that money, and you telling me you beating up. See, again, why is men got to beat up to get the... You got to fight for the kitty cat? You got to fight for the kitty cat, fam. You should be able to come home. Let me tell you something, man. You should be able to come home, and if you all have differences, you and your lady have differences, there's a conversation. And even in that conversation, and there's still a difference, and there's still an issue, walk away. Because there's always a time to get air, to breathe, to think. And I say walk away because when you walk away, you're able to think about a lot. you can actually go back in your mind and review what you just said. You can actually also review what was said to you, and then you can review how you want to handle it. And then you can also review how hard you were as a man, and as a woman, you can review how bad you just talked to that man. You understand? There's a way to review, to come back to the table, to have a conversation when love rules. See, some people living together, but they don't love each other. This man and his baby mama probably living together because of the kids, but that don't mean he love her. And yet he can love her because of the kids, but not genuinely because of her, who she is, and just her. So naturally, he's getting millions and she's just there. And actually, he can love her and don't want her to go nowhere because of how much he loves her. That's another thing. So there's so many different angles of this that can be decided mentally about how this is being played out and who's really who. But the biggest thing I'm saying, again, there's always a way to walk away, breathe, process, and come back to that conversation. Because even in that, if you come back to that conversation, and as a man, you know, there's always a place that we have to find peace to be able to operate as a man, because naturally we are alpha humans. We are stronger naturally. So there always has to be a place for a man to go to calm down. That's just what it has to be. You understand? Because if that's not the case, then there will always be corruption, and you will never find a woman that will love you and embrace you for you, period. Because she'll never feel safe with you at all. But the biggest thing is that you have to understand, these are feelings. And it's even much as we could talk about a man putting his hands on a woman, it's just like women put their hands on men. Because a woman can put her hands on a man and don't think it's nothing, can slap them all up and act like it's nothing, and nobody knows that. But the moment that man put his hands on that woman, oh my God, he getting crucified. Now let's be real and keep it 100 in her. Don't lie right now. We done all been in relationships where that woman done smacked you up a couple times and don't nobody know that. Pushed you, probably spit on you. Never know. But no one knows. I heard you. But yet, people still have gotten into it. And women have still pushed you, pressed up against you, especially when they all up in your face talking to you and they breast is pressing up against you, bagging you up. And now me as a man, I'm a man. I'm a man. This feminine is pushing, is masculine. This is what's happening here. So you can provoke that as well. And you never know how that happens, but it's different for a boxer because, see, he's a certified boxer. And him being a boxer puts him in a big difference, but for him not to be able to operate how regular humans operate. You understand? When you're a boxer, you have to back up. You got to walk away because your hands are considered weapons to the authorities. And if you use them, it's like using guns or using bullets. So that's the biggest thing when I say we don't really know what happened. We don't really know what's what. He could be having all his millions and want to leave. And she like, no, Dirty, where you going? You going to stay right here with these kids. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't got another match until next February. So where you finna go right now? You don't know what the circumstances are. You don't know what the situations be in relationships and how people find themselves talking bad to each other, then all of a sudden checking each other, then all of a sudden somebody push somebody, or some girl push her head, or some boy tell a girl what he gonna do, and then all of a sudden somebody swinging, swanging, and somebody boo bopping, banging. You get what I'm saying? So the biggest things is about understanding how to, and for him again, he can't do this because again, boxers considered, they hands are considered lethal weapons. That's a real thing. That's a legal term. And then the sad part is too, when we talk about the men that are like that, you know, first of all, I don't condone no man putting his hand on a woman. Period. And even when we speaking about real life, guys that think that's a real thing, that ain't it. If a woman provokes me or put her hands on me, then she's prepared for me to touch her and move her. Even if she didn't smack me up or try to something, I could never just close fists, just knock you out. I just can't do it. I'm just not raised like that. I can't see myself just knocking a woman out. That's like death. That'll make me throw up, because that's just like, what? You just knocking women out like it's nothing? I can't do that, fam. I just can't see that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, a woman is just too precious to me. You know what I mean? Like, a woman can make me mad. Woman can make me mad. I can cuss you out. Mother, who you talk to? Beep, you better watch your mother. What you say? I can call you everything in the book. Yeah, that's fine. And tell you to go head on. And when I come back, I'm going to pull you by your hair and get you in this motion. And now we making noise for a minute until I get that about you so you can calm down. And now we back to a good day. You understand? A woman is fragile. A woman is sensitive to their toenails. When you touch their hands, soft body, soft all of that. Oh no, you can get on all that. I can cuss you out, whatever. I'm gonna go smoke and come back. What you say? Whatever. I'm gonna turn you, I'm gonna move you, and I'm gonna bend you, and then I'm gonna strip you, and then I'm gonna take you, and I'm gonna keep taking you till you can't be took no more. You understand? And when I say take you, you're gonna feel thrust, you're gonna understand deepness, you're gonna understand girth, and you're gonna understand this body. That the fact that you've been moved. That see, this is the fight that I fight back with. You understand? I'm gonna fight back this way. You understand? It's a way to get this together. It ain't no way that you got to be close fisting, folk. Put these hands and move you and put you back in this position. If we fight, you can beat me up here, but I'm gonna beat you up down here. You understand what I'm talking about? Real G's. That's a man. That's a man that understands a woman. That's a man that's been through something. That's a man. And that's another thing. People don't go through nothing. They don't know nothing. But that's a man. Because he ain't even on that. And he'll never find himself making a woman feel that low. And even if he's ever found himself in that position, because we're not perfect. We all are not perfect. But it's ways to learn. It's ways to learn. There's things we got to learn from. So we can know how to do things in the future. Gervonta is talking about therapy, and nobody's paying attention to this man. Keep talking about therapy. Even to admit it, because he got a lot on his mind, and he got to get it off. And people is really running his patience thin. That could be a lot of things on his mind as well. So I just talk about in a relationship, we don't really know how things end up. But yet we got to know that at the end of the day, a woman is still the most fragilest thing human being in the world. Fragile. Next to a baby. That's why they have babies. A baby and a woman is two fragile individuals in this world. Up against your elder. That's the third. Your elder. That's the most fragilest person in the world. Next to a woman, a baby. An elder. So you got to understand, these are three individuals that we're not to harm physically in any type of way. Period. So when we talk about a woman, and then you got women that's tough. Don't forget about the women that's tough, that talk to you like you're a man. Don't forget it. Fragile like a rose. Ruth say, oh yeah. And they created that rose for a woman. So you got to understand how that works. But you got the tough women too that talk bad to you. And they still want to be treated like a woman. But they don't know how to operate. They don't know how to talk. So they need a man to shut them down. So now you got an authority fighting with another authority. And they just going head to head. Because men was made to be the head and not the tail. Let me say that again for somebody that don't know in the back. Men was made to be the head, not the tail. So when a woman has to acknowledge king, a woman has to acknowledge a man, that has to acknowledge authority, has to acknowledge this upper room level. And when she doesn't do that, you will find yourself alone for the rest of your life till you meet the Creator. Till you meet the Father. You will be by yourself on this earth in this simulation. If you ever think that you don't have to see a man in that light, you are mistaken. A woman cannot want a man and not recognize his position in the house. People run around about happy wife, happy life. That's a lie. That's two individuals. It's happy wife, happy husband, happy life. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. We want people to understand things, not just read the headlines. Read in between the lines. If Gervonta putting his hands on women, he got to go sit down and learn and walk away and get his mind together. Therapy, and he need to be punished. Because we don't condone that. Somebody need to put hands on him. Where I come from, somebody need to put hands on him. Ain't about it. You ain't got to get locked up. All that, we just going to put hands on you. You putting hands on my cousin, my sister, my who, or homegirl? Oh yeah, we got to put hands on you. That's where I come from. We got to put hands on you. So we don't condone none of this. If this is what he's doing, he need to be touched. About no jail time. No, you need to get beat up, boy. Somebody need to let you know. Don't put your hands on my little sister no more. Don't put your hands on my little cousin. Don't put your hands on my partner no more. Don't put your hands on her no more. That's how it works. That's it. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Let's see about another point of view. Ticket TV, talk to me.
Man, of beating them up. And here's the thing, right? Everybody keep giving this guy a pass. At what point in time do we say, hey man, how many women allegedly got beat up by this man? And that's gonna go report it to the police. Forget suing this guy. Everybody talking, oh man, he goes to the cops. These women going to the cops. You understand what I'm saying? Every single time he got walked up, man, his career, it's like it's over, man. And I couldn't believe I just saw it again on Channel 10. I'm like, again? Again? They got this dude again? Man, this dude again, bro. This dude seems like he can't keep his hands off women. And we already seen the video back in the day when he dragged that woman out of that event. You can't take that back. That's on the record, that's on tape. Like I said before, these dudes is insane, man. And for Tank Davis to have these allegations on him, it's disgusting, it's sickening, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna get off with this, man. He definitely ain't gonna get off with this, man. It's a sad situation for Gervonta Tank Davis to see his career go down like.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Ruth. Hey. Let's go with what Ruth said. Ruth says, hey, yep, my 18-year-old son heard an argument with my ex and myself. He came running in bedroom last summer. Then she said, my ex left. My son said, talk to me like that, not my mom. You know, this is the thing about things like that when it comes to kids that are of age, when you're in a relationship, right? And they hear ruckus, or they hear a couple having a conversation that gets loud, could possibly get out of volume to where a kid be like, hold up, you know. It takes time for a kid of age to see a man in the house for a certain amount of time, to be comfortable with conversations that may get loud or may get different or may get difficult. Because if a kid of age hear his mom and a guy arguing and he only knew that guy for like 6 months, that ain't enough time for him to be okay. Because timing matters with kids that are of age when they hear in relationships. But also, you got to understand something too. This is why brothers and uncles and cousins don't come running when a woman getting into it with her man. Because even them getting into it, you can still be with that man tomorrow, even after they come trying to help you out. So when you talk about 5 years, and comfortable, you said he got uncomfortable, started calling you out your name, your son wasn't having it. I'm glad my son stepped in to defend me. That's a real deal, because this is the conversation I'm trying to tell you, Ruth. Nobody knows the situation. And as you're unfolding what you're saying, I'm trying to get you to understand. It's so many different point of views. It's so many different things like that. It's so many different situations like that. Because the situation I was explaining, that's a real thing. Kids of age that you've been knowing for like only a certain amount of time, they not even in the situation. They not even comfortable yet. But then when you talk about 5 years and a guy and a son been knowing this guy for a while, the respect is lost when he can hear that the respect is lost on how they talk, the tone they use, the words they use. And then doing it in the midst of the kids and not even caring who you doing it in front of. That plays a role as well. Because people, that starts to happen. Because people start not to care no more. And it do take a defense, or it do take somebody to step in and be like, hey man, hold up, let's remind my mama that you still my mama, and remind this guy that this still my mama, and you still this guy that can hit bricks if I feel like this thing is getting out of control and I gotta step in. But that's a real thing, because this is what I mean by love, relationships, marriage. The good, the bad, the ugly gets you married. People don't even understand that. Because when you talk about people get too comfortable and start talking a certain way to people, if people don't rewind and take a step back to see that and then check themselves and acknowledge that, then either move on because you've acknowledged those things to lighten that, because the love matters more than that. And if that doesn't happen, then yeah, there is separation that plays a role. Because now the person don't love you more than they respect you. The love is not there no more. So now they just disrespectful. So it's a difference, fam, when we're talking about conversations like that, because at the end of the day, we still got to know how it's being done. What is going on? What type of relationship in it? How long y'all been talking? How long y'all been going through it? Y'all both been doing it, or is he just doing it? Because a guy start talking bad, but a woman start talking bad too. So that plays a role as well, because then you don't know like that. And then when a guy's in a house with a woman, but that woman has a child, now that guy looks like he better always talk right or he can get kicked out. Period. And see, that's a big deal, because that ain't even fair. Because now he's walking on toenails. He's walking on thin lines. And he got to walk light. Because if he trip, he getting kicked out. That's not right. Because when the tables is turned, if a woman was living in a man's house and the man's kids was there and the man and the woman was getting into it, depending on how that man actively talks or gets loud with that woman, that man's kids could look at that woman and be like, that woman tripping because she's getting loud with their daddy in his house. You see how quick the tables just turned though? That is a real thing. So I'm just giving you another point of view that people don't even be seeing, don't be knowing what's going on in the household. And yet they can hear that this man just did something and don't even know where it stemmed from. The foundation of that, how that exploded over time. That's what I mean. Again, we don't condone men putting their hands on a woman. Ruth says, Dilla T, you like masculine females? No, I don't. I like a lady to be, I like a lady. Because see, a lady cares about, see, like a lady cares so much about, what is the word? What's the word I'm looking for? A lady cares about her maintenance. Let me say that again for the people in the back to understand a lady. A lady cares about her maintenance. And I'm talking about down to the T. And the level of maintenance is what I mean by saying from the level of skin to the level of juices that flow in their body. They such a lady. That's a feminine woman that recognizes her femininity and recognizes a man's masculine. See, a masculine woman can't recognize a masculine man. Because some masculine women don't know how to be feminine because they only been around what they've been around. They probably never even been around feminine females. You have to know their background. You have to know what they've been through. You have to know how they was raised. A lot of these women don't know how to be feminine. A lot of women don't know how to talk in a feminine way. But they want a man to approach them and treat them as such. I love a strong. That's what matters about a woman, being strong inside and out. Being soft, but knowing when to be strong. Being such a lady, but having authority. You understand what I'm saying, fam? You understand what I'm saying, fellas? When a woman is soft, but you understand her authority in the room. You understand? It's a difference. It plays a role. Authority, but still being soft, still being a lady, still holding yourself to high maintenance. From the toenails to the toes to the purse to how you walk to the critiquing of things, the antics of things, the smallest things to the matter of things of a lady. Because when you look at a woman from her head to her toe, even to the exuberant smell that's coming off her body a mile away, a mile long, that what you understand as as understanding a feminine woman, because of how she look, how she walk, the way she move. She walk light, but has a heavy presence. Let me say that again. She walks light, but has a heavy presence. You get what I'm saying? It's a difference when we're talking about a feminine woman and a masculine woman. For a man to be who he can be to you, it matters of those things. That's why a man feels better even when a woman approaches, say, hey, babe, what's going on? How you doing? How you feel? What you need? See, as a man, there's a place in us that needs to be covered, that needs to be covered, that needs to be consumed, that needs to be protected. So when you understand a relationship, the level, what it takes to actually make that man feel what he needs to feel so he can be all he can be for you and your family, there's always two sides to a story. I care less about what anybody thinks. There's always two sides to a story. And you got to understand you got to understand something. Liz said, my husband left early with the kids and I had to do it alone with my mom, but I felt good about it afterwards. I feel good being a strong woman. She said, I think being strong is when a woman can do something without having to wait on her husband to do it for her. She laughed after that. Ruth said, but I'm straight, I love men. She said, my ex always told me it's my energy that dread people to me, even females. But you gotta understand that too, people. When you say, see, like what Liz just said about she feel strong when a woman can do something without waiting on a man. And that's a real thing. That's one of. That's what'll make a woman feel strong right there. Knowing that she don't need a man to do it, she can handle it herself, can accomplish those things that men can do. That's big. But a woman can take that thought and feel like she don't need a man at all. Hold up. You pour a drink for that. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You hear me, Liz? A woman can take that thought and feel like she don't need a man for nothing. See, just because you can move that dryer Just because you can vacuum that floor, just because you can scoot that refrigerator over, but because you can pull the trash dumpsters to the curb. That's cool. It's a difference when somebody come through that door, though. See, when somebody come through that door and you need to know how to handle, you're going to be either calling on that man or God first. Because I'm going to tell you something about the value of a man. If a man has to ever argue his value to a woman, then that woman will never understand the reason why a woman needs a man and why a man needs a woman. We should not have to ever explain our position to get a woman to understand why she needs us. It's one thing about creating and producing humans in the earth, about why woman needs man and why mans need woman to create earth and growth and human and mankind. That's one thing. But we can go down a list. That's an infinite list about why you need me, woman. It's a time when you feel some type of way and you just want to be held in my arms. It's a time when you want to tell me something on your mind that you can't tell nobody else. It's a time when you just feel. That ain't got nothing to do with you changing flat tires, getting gas in your car break down on you. Who you gonna call besides AAA? Somebody come in that house right now finna do something. What we doing? We hopping up. Who you call? Babe. What you call? Babe, somebody at the door. We can keep going. We should never have to make a list about why you need me. And that's where the world is changing. Because the moment they start doing that and breaking it down and seeming like they don't need it, a man, you will realize why your life is what your life is. Because let me tell you something, you're missing out on a lot if you feel like you don't need a man. Oh, let me say that again. Just for the ladies in the back. You missing out on life if you think you don't need a man. You can keep listening to them songs that make you keep rolling, but you can keep waking up to them same songs, making you think you don't need a man. But in the late night hour, who you calling? Because even a woman that wants another woman to look like a man still needs a man. Let me say that again for somebody that ain't opened up their eyes. Even a woman that needs a woman to look like a man or act like a man, to give her affection like a man, clearly still needs that woman to be a man. And then all of a sudden, you talking about, they calling them studs. See, this is the realization of what's going on in the world. And that's why you need to hit that like button right now, double tap that screen and subscribe, become a member today, join to be a sponsor. We're here to save your life. This is the reason why the world changes right before our eyes, Thunder. When people sit there and act like they don't need a man, but yet you go after women that act like a man or choose to look like us. But let me tell you something. You wasn't born like me. You don't possess the kahunas. Everything in me that was made was to evolve as a man. And all that has to be as a man. So everything that comes with men is invented in the man. A woman can't be a man. Because you're not invented to be a man. What the man feels, what he thinks, his thoughts, his texture, his everything, his intellect, everything, his intuition. You think women just got intuition? You stupid. Men got intuition as well. That's the reason why we're a man. You can walk around tough. You can walk around hard. You can put on the clothes. You can even get the beard. You can get the braids. But at the end of the day, when it go down, who on the front line? A man. Are we gonna talk about it? We up in here, no filters. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. You better. Like fam just said, no matter what you are, what you was born as, that's who you are. And that's who you gonna be. Mentally, emotionally, physically. Even psychologically, you a woman. You gonna think like a woman. You get in a relationship with another woman, you're gonna treat that as such as a woman would to a man. So now you got two women going at it. Because this woman don't know how to accept her role, trying to be a man, but yet her mentality doesn't give her man. Her mentality is not waking her psychologically to receive, process, and disperse information as a man would in situations that only man know how to handle. See, you can teach a woman how to do something. You can even take her to the lake and drink. But see, from experience, she got to know which water is the right water to drink. She got to know. It's a reason why you need a man. You better tell somebody and write it down. That's what it is tonight. It's a reason why you need a man. We can look at this brother and say he wrong. We don't condone. And he need to be put hands on him. I'm all for it if he's wrong and what he's done. But we will not allow this to make and discredit men across the world. We will not allow this one individual to discredit men across this nation. Because at the end of the day, we are still a man. And whether his skin color represent me, you, he still represent man across the world. So we're going to recap. Just because we can move washers and dryers don't mean you don't need no man. Just because you can pump your own gas don't mean you don't need no man. Just because you can learn how to paint and hang drywall, mud and tape don't mean you don't need no man. Just because you know how to change brakes on the car, the oil and the transmission, you hear me? And you work at AutoZone don't mean you don't need no man. You better hear me up in here. Nobody gonna come up in here and discredit men because of one man. Just because you know how to shoot a gun. I'm following somebody on the channel right now. All she do is shoot guns, all type of different guns. But what? Her man is keeping her on the phone, videotaping her shoot guns. Her man. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. It's a reason why you need a man. I want to hear it.
And so we're going to see now if that's what it is. We're definitely going to see what happens, man. But these guys are stupid, man. Tank Davis. Another woman has come out.
You know a Chris.
Come out to the police station with bruises on him, saying this man
Chris,
is
my fan. Root Chris in them.
And so again, when is this guy going to learn if these are true allegations? You know what I'm saying? How many women have to come out and accuse this man of the same thing for people to actually believe it and take it serious? You know what I'm saying?
Better tell them Keela Key, Cash K. Hit that like button, become a member right now, subscribe, family.
To see this dude, you understand what I'm saying?
It's the reason why you need a man.
You know, cheat the ball. Like, it is sad to see these type of stories continue.
And shout out to Coffee. Coffee X Lax in the building. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. Coffee just said, does a man need a woman? Coffee just said, does a man need a woman? I appreciate that, Keela. Does a man need a woman? We need to understand why we need a woman so much more. There's so many more reasons why we need a woman, why a woman need a man. See, a man here, we carry all the kids. Yeah, we carry all the kids. We just walking around with all the kids in us. Yeah, we just walking around with all the kids in us, just hanging and swinging and just living our life, just walking around with all the kids until we find this beautiful subject that God has created. This sculpture of a human, this soft, eloquent, feminine, piece of lalique, the most exquisite being on earth that God has made to produce humans is the being of a female, of the being of a woman. It is nothing more ever made than a woman on this earth, Lord. There's nothing ever so better, so much more beautiful, so precious. That's the word that people forgetting about a woman. That's the word that's left out about a woman. Precious. I urge you, brothers, to tell a woman tomorrow when you wake up how precious she is to the earth. That's the word that's being lost, Lori. That's the word that's being gone, Ruth. That's the word that people missing out on it. Keela, that's the word. It's how precious a woman is to the earth, Lord. How precious she is to mankind. There's things a woman can do that a man just can't do. Let me say that again. There is things a woman can do that a man just can't do. I'm going to tell you how precious you are, Lord. Because I'm going to tell you something. A woman, let me tell you something. The pain that a woman can bear, a man can't. Let me say that again. The pain that a woman can bear, a man can't. That's the difference in the strength of a woman and the softness of a man. Even if he is masculine and who he is as a man, as an alpha, that is the strength of a woman. That a woman can bear pain that a man can't. You better hear me, Chris. That's one major thing right there that separates a woman from a man. What she can bear that a man can't. Period. You will never understand what a woman can bear until you in her shoes. And unless you are born as a woman, you will never understand. So when we talk about the preciousness of a woman and what we need from a woman and what she produces to the earth, the value is being taken down. The value of a woman is being less, and more less. But we have to understand the preciousness of a woman. That's why men have to always stand up for women, because they're precious. They're precious jewels, like kids. They have to be held. They have to be covered. They have to be protected from the earth, to be preserved. That's how much a woman matters. See, like men, we who we are, and we carrying kids all day in the sack. But fam, women have to be preserved. Yeah. They have to literally be put on ice and put over there in the cut to the back in that little corner right there. Yeah, they got to be put in heat and, yeah, preserved. It's too good. A woman's body carries too much nutrition for a man. They have to be preserved and put over to the side, in the cut, back in the corner where nobody knows. That it's only yours to pull out when need. Because that's, you better hear me. You can understand a level of a woman that's been preserved from a woman that hasn't been preserved. And when a woman carry herself as such, precious creature, that's the feminine parts that you see. When she carries herself, because she's that precious of a creature that she has to be preserved. So when she comes outside, it's like pollution is outside. So when she come outside, she has to cover up. Yeah. Because she can be polluted by much and many. It is so much fluid in a woman's body. So much fruit and fluid in this woman's body. She has to be preserved. That's why from the body parts that pop out and everything, that's why it's like that with a woman. That's why the moment you touch or you insert or you become one with a soul of a woman, the preservations of that is the value of how long it's been preserved for you. That's like 1800 old wine that's been preserved for years until it's ready to come out the barrel. You got to understand, it's precious, fam. A woman is precious. I'm trying to tell you, it's the preservations that needs to be preserved for a woman. You need to make sure you do that. Because the more preserving and precious you keep her, the more the value of that woman lasts long for you and your relationship. That's why you never want to pollute. You never want to do these things. You want to make sure that this woman is all that she can be and that that woman is all she can be for you. That's why it matters that she gets up and that her maintenance is at a high level. That's why I said I love a feminine woman and her maintenance. Because the preservations that she preserved herself for a man, when she releases her body and her fluids to you, that is an exchange of souls, that you are feeling all of that preservation and all of that fuss and all of that thrust and all of that fluid of love falling on you. When a woman is sitting there releasing all this fluid on you, that's all love. You didn't just bust a water balloon. Because a woman is filled up with love and fluids. And her body is ready for you to create a human. So when I tell you that she opens herself, her river, when she opens her river to you, you need to understand how to preserve that water. You need to know how to drink from that lake, brother. And you need to know how to swim in that water as well. So when I tell you that that woman, all that preservation, all of that body, all of that feeling, all of that heart, all of that mind, all of that soul, it's all in there, just all in one. So when she open up and give that to you, boy, you better know. That's giving Mother Nature to you, boy. So when I tell you a woman's so precious, we have to be reminded of what the woman does for society, what she does for mankind, what she does for the earth. When people speak about Mother Nature and all of that, it's a real reason why they use that term, because Mother Nature, that is what a mother is. That is what the female is. That is what a woman is to all of us. Let me take a drink. Boy, I almost felt somebody on here, boy, talking like, do you hear me? The preservations of a precious woman. What we gonna say? Let's remind you. Tell you why you need a man. But I'm telling you why you need to preserve a woman. Let me hit this drink right here, boys. That's why a woman can be so. See, that's why women are naturally open to men. They're naturally open to, because they are made for. We are made together. So we naturally cling to each other. That's how it works. But because women been through things, they got to hold up and know who's going to preserve them the correct way. You got what I'm saying? Going to give them precious because they've been through things. But a woman is made for a man, man made for woman. That's why we naturally connect, we naturally combine, we naturally attract, we naturally come together. You ever tripped off when you and the man that you choose are in the bed and y'all grab each other in the bed? You just, whether he behind you and grab you or y'all together, just when y'all take each other, it is something about that divine preservation and connection that tells you that that link and exchange, that ain't energy. That's souls. People be mistaking these words nowadays using energy. Shut up. It's a soul in there. And even that power manifests itself. I'm trying to tell you that grab, it ain't the same. If you ever know what that grab is and that hold, you can see the feed of an exchange of souls, the force, the nature. That fluid of love, shout out to Liz up in here. You better hear me. It all forms. It all hits. So I'm just trying to tell you about what a woman can do for you, what a man can do for a woman. It is so much more than just us looking at each other. I'm trying to tell you, because it's different. That exchange is so powerful that you ain't even got to touch a person to feel it from afar. Hit that like button, double tap that screen. I really want you to understand what's really real here. We're not going to let this brother right here make all men look bad. And we're not going to let women think because they can do a couple things that a man can do that they don't need no man. We're not going to walk away from this tonight with that on our minds. We're not going to let that creep in. We're going to continue to meet. We're going to continue to greet. We're going to continue to be together, men with woman, woman with man. We won't let it destroy what God put us on the earth for, because this is exactly what this does. This is exactly what it will do. It will shut you down and make you think you don't need no man because you can do a couple things. And you got women out here walking around thinking they don't need no man. And you got 1,000 men in your inbox. But at late at night, you missing somebody. You thinking about your ex. You wondering why. Because you connected to a man. And you want to know why you still want somebody that you tired of. Fighting the feeling because your friends over there talking about they independent and they cool, but they ain't telling you who they calling at night. They ain't telling you who they missing at night. Then all of a sudden you find out your friend back with their ex. Because she don't want nobody no more because she was held and preserved. But something happened that made them separate, Lord. People got to identify. People got to walk away, think about it, process it, come back. So we got to make sure that we keep our minds together and make sure that we not spreading false plague or false lies about man needing woman and woman needing man. And let me say this again for the people in the back. Women that like women, that want women to look like a man, you better stop lying to yourself right there. You want this woman to do things to you a certain way, but you want her to look like a man doing it. You must be out your mind. If y'all in the bed and both of y'all got the same body parts, that's all y'all can do. But then when we get outside and we walk in public, you want me to identify as a man in these people's face. So clearly, you still want a man. And if it ain't for the bed, you want that man to be outside walking to your side in public. Don't play them games with me. People be out here confused, tying in the building, and they think they trying to confuse people. You're not going to confuse me. What you confused? You want this woman to dress like a man in public, but get in the bed and put something on like a man. What? Let's make it make sense one more time. You want this woman to change her whole identity to be a man. What is the point of you wanting a woman for? Especially if y'all in the bed and she got to put the strap on it. What? Make it make sense. Don't do that. Because see, we just started seeing it out of nowhere. Trip off this, family. We just started seeing it out of nowhere. And people just was looking like, oh, okay, that's the new thing. Oh, okay, that's what they doing. People liking the same thing. Okay, cool. So they dressing up and they got a new name for it. Stud. Okay, cool. So this, okay, that's cool. Crazy work. But ain't nobody explaining it like this. But this is exactly what it is. You want this woman, but you want this woman to look like me. You want her to perform like me. You want her to put things on her body that I was born with naturally. What? You can never replace a man. You can act like, you can look like, you can seem like, but you can never replace a man. And I'm glad we're in this conversation because the world needs to hear this in this way. Because for some reason, people think it's normal or they think it's okay because it's just their thing. But if you actually think there's a disposition, there's a psychological disposition going on mentally that you thought for a minute that you like women, but you want that woman to look like me everywhere we go, everywhere we be, even to the kids. What we talking about? You better hit that like button. You better double tap that screen. You better put them notifications. Let me tell you something. We Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. I might come in 10 minutes late. It don't matter. Pull up at 9 p.m. Get you something to drink. Get you something to eat. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Women, get comfortable. Take your socks off. Tuck your feet off. Rub your feet together and breathe. And wait on Dilla T to pull up in this building because I'm here to save your life. We will not allow people to confuse us. We will not walk around in confusion. Let me say that again. We won't walk around in confusion. There's too many precious women on here. Too many meaningful men on here. We will not walk around in confusion. That ain't normal. That ain't right, and that don't make sense. I'm tired of being out here. I could be somewhere. You hear me, Lori? Boy, you can be at a fast food restaurant. You can see two of them things walk in. Now, she with her girlfriend, but this girlfriend is a stud. And then the stud look at me because the girl looking at me. So your girlfriend looking at the real man. Hold up. Your girl looking at a real man, but she got you looking like a man on the side of me. So you gonna look at me tough like a man. Hold on, I'm like, hold on. You gonna look at me tough like a man. So you looking at a real man and you feel some type of way. So you gotta understand what that do to folk. Ruth in the building, you know I love you back. Let me tell you something, you gotta know what that do to folk. When a real man in their presence and you see this fakeness right here in your face. Now they trying to be tough. I appreciate you so much, Pink. Thank you so much. You see a real man in your face and now you're feeling intimidated. Real man. And now I got to sit there and look at you like, is you stupid? You really want to think about it? Do you trying to get a lesson on how real men get down when you mugging them in public? You want to learn how to be a man for real? Let me teach you how to be a man. See, that's the problem right there. Because if you see a stud with a woman and a woman looking at you and they see a real man and now they feeling intimidated, now they want to get tough. If you knock them out right there where they stand, did you just put your hands on a man or a woman? Because is that stud going to cry wolf that they a woman now? Or you going to stand on that thing that your woman wants you to be, and that's a fake man? I want to know, if you so much as a man, your woman got you in her gassed up trying to be a stud to be like a man, and then you want to mug a real man. You don't think a man will walk up and knock you out right where you stand? You going to cry that you a woman then, or you going to stand on that you a man? That's the conversations they don't talk about. But that's why you need to become a member today. That's why you need to subscribe right here with your boy Dealatofficial here at No Filters. This is real. This is raw. We don't play no games. We don't play no game. We bring a light to darkness. We're here to inform, understand, and be aware that if it walk like a, talk like a, we know it's a duck. You hear me? And it's duck hunting season. And that's how we coming. So I just want to know. You want to come outside and look like a man. You want to walk and talk like a man. You want to dress like a man. Is you going to stand on business like a man? Because all this mouth and all this talking and all that extra don't drive me nothing, but I'm trying to figure it out. What are you? What you trying to do? Because you dang sure ain't real. A man would never have to flex for a moment. Never flex for a stud. Never flex for whatever you want to call them. But I bet a stud gonna know their place in the presence of a real man. Let me say that again. I bet a stud gonna know their place in the presence of a man. Because it'll make people think that people don't need men no more. And that's not right. I don't care what nobody say. That ain't right. So at the end of the day, we know at the end of the day, ain't no way, in no way, shape, form, or fashion will I allow society to discredit men and to just wipe us out the earth. Fam said, bro thinks men are special. I'm a man. We won't become distinct. We not no dinosaurs, fam. We not doing that. We not doing that. Because the moment they wipe us out, what our kids got? How we creating kids? How is kids coming in the earth? Clearly that y'all must don't want no more kids on the earth. Y'all trying to take us out. What we talking about? That's why we need women to stand up for men. And when you get situations like this, and they talking about men putting hands on women, this will make women don't want to stand up for a man. When you know that that woman got your back forever. Tell you something about a woman having your back. When she's so committed to you, boy, let me tell you something about a woman having your back. Let me tell you something about a woman having, come here. No, yeah, you. Come here. Come here. Let me tell you something about a woman having your back, your side and your front. When you get a real woman, a precious, solidified woman, she don't see no other man in her sight. You are the only eye. You are the only apple of her eye. You need to pray that you find that woman. When a woman with you, I can get emotional, boy. Because I may have had that in my life. And I may have found, you better hear me. It's a real deal. When a woman with you, boy, and she committed, she'll die for you. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You are the only apple of her eye in the midst of all the fruit in the land. You are the only apple of her eye. She feels for no one. She seeks no one. She wants nothing. She needs nobody. In a land of people, you're the only person. In the land of people, you're the only person. Because I'm going to tell you something too about God, relationships and men. Let me explain something to you about God, relationships and men and women. See, the Father comes first in all of our lives. Why? Because he gave you life and that more abundantly, period. There's nothing around that. So I don't have to speak about God being first in your life and then a man, God first and then a woman, God first and then kids. No, we know God first in all because he's the creator. He made you, boy and girl. So it don't matter. That's why I never spoke about that. But I want you to understand something about that as well. And people don't know this because they're not really, their relationship with the Father is not that deep, what I'm about to say. I'm going to say that. Hit that like button, subscribe, let's go.
You go home, right? And so you're a boxer, superstar boxer, Gervonta Davis. You got everything to live for. And like I said, these dudes are idiots. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period, these dudes are freaking idiots, man. They don't got no brain. They don't have no sense of what am I gonna do.
I'm gonna say it for you, Pink. Because Pink said, say it, boo. That's what I'm gonna say it. Let me tell you something. People's relationship is not that deep with the Lord. Because when you think about a lot of these people that are like saved, filled with the Holy Ghost, been going to church all of their life, and all they know is God and nothing else. Hear me. People like that, you have to understand what the Lord wants for you. And what I mean by that is generally what the Lord wants for us all. That is to have life that more abundantly. He wants us to have prosperity, meaning money. He wants you to get the needs. He wants to provide you with the needs that you need in your life. He wants to be a provider for you as well. But what I'm saying right now is there is a status in a relationship that God honors to us all. In relationship. There is never a time where you can be so caught up in the Father that you still don't understand relationship. God honors marriage. So I'm saying that to say that even if you believe in God, you go to church, you're saved, filled with the Holy Ghost, love the Lord, and you on fire for Jesus, that's fine. But even in that, there is still a place to find man, and for man to find a woman, and for man and woman to come together in holy matrimony and to be honored by God. So as we understand that, we want to never forget that. Because if we forget that in the church, or if we forget that in what we believe in, we will find ourselves so godly that you would think that you walk in the earth like the Father. Because you want to be so godly, so perfect, so not without blemish. But yet God says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. You better shut up in here if you think you're perfect about dealing with God. And making sure the Father is first. So when I speak, I'm telling you, there's still a way that has to be done to be honored by God in relationship as man and woman with man. So we will never let men be distinct or extinct. We cannot be extinct. There's a reason why man is for woman, woman for men. But in the eyes of the Lord, there's a way to be honored by God. And there's still a place for a relationship with man and with woman. But there is a way that seemeth right to man, but the ends thereof is death. And because of that, we have to have no filters. Because of that, we got to straighten folk out. Because of that, we got to bring light to darkness. Because of that, we got to inform, understand, and be aware. Because of that, we got to read in between the lines after reading the headline. Because of that is why we have to stand like that. Shout out to Pink and Chronicles in this building. A $5 donation, super chat. You know it's love. I'm with you. You know you better be a subscriber and a member. Those are the reasons why we got to speak like we are tonight. Because things like this, I keep telling y'all, the narratives are hurting our nerves. The narratives they keep pushing are killing our nerves. It's getting on our nerves so bad to where chaos and anarchy is going to corrupt. But if we can just keep holding on when we get the real knowledge, if we can just hold on in between the lines, we will see this as foolishness and keep living right past it. We can't allow them to make women think women don't matter no more. Because let me tell you something, women, they're against y'all too. Oh, you think they're against us men, but they're against y'all. They want to bury us and put us in jail. But let me tell you what they want to do with you women. They don't want y'all to like men no more. They want you to start liking women the rest of your life. And then they want to make you not preserve yourself no more. They just want you to run around and give your body to everybody to where you're looked at as nothing and trash. They want you to use the B word every day of your life to where you feel that word represents you, your sisters, and your mother with no problem. Oh, it's some psychological warfare that they giving y'all women. You better open up your eyes. Because they shooting at y'all non-stop. It ain't just us men. They want us to be extinct, but I'm telling you, boy, they breaking y'all down too by the numbers. You better hear me today. You better open up your eyes. And you better get focused. You need no filters Monday through Friday because we need to stay focused. It is so much going on in the earth every day. Every time we walk outside, there's something new, something this, something wrong, something real, something crazy, something wild, something chaotic, something just diabolical every day. But yet the war is against flesh and blood, principalities and rulers in high places. That's the war. So we got to understand that they're against women. They're against men. And this right here breaks men looks bad. And then that Renee Good got women looking crazy. I'm going to try to tell you. The war is amongst us. They want to take us out. They want to take men from producing more kids. They want to make women don't want men no more. So there's no more households with man, woman, and family. Woo, you better hear me. They got the good looking. There's a time we living in where the good is looked at as bad and bad is looked at as good. We in a situation where they looking at women as if you as only looked at as a woman. But if you're white, you're good. If you're black, you're this, you're that. You in the streets. They looking at men as if a man ain't working, he ain't nothing. And if he ain't done nothing, he need to be either locked up. And if he ain't working, he ain't getting food stamps. But he looking like he ain't nothing because in the household, he ain't nothing but a baby daddy. He ain't nothing but a good for nothing, nothing. You better understand the narrative. It's a reason why these narratives are still in play. And for you know it, it's going to be men against women, women against men. There's already men against the government, government against man. So when we talk about anarchy, chaos, depopulation, one world government, you better get on board. Never forget, it's a reason why you need a man in your life. Never forget, it's a reason why you still need a woman in your life. Never forget, a woman is the most precious human species on the planet. Never forget, she needs to be preserved. She needs to be held. She needs to be tucked away. Somebody hear me tonight. Somebody feel me tonight. Somebody gonna treat a woman better tomorrow. Somebody gonna care about a man. Somebody gonna care about a man tomorrow. Somebody gonna treat a woman better tomorrow. Somebody gonna wake up and tell a woman she precious. Somebody gonna see things differently after the night, even if we only reach one. Somebody gonna do different tomorrow. That's the purpose. That's the point. That's why we Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. This is why. Because all it takes is one for change. All it takes is one to get on board. And all it takes is one to join the fight. Which side you on? As always, fam, you know the business, and you know the deal. Each and every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in with your boy Dilla T. Making sure that you pull up, making sure you get you something to eat, something to drink, and getting comfortable with your boy. You know what it is, fam. As always, I truly appreciate y'all taking your time out to become a member, hitting that like button, subscribing, making sure the notification bell is on all to make sure that we are tuned in because we tuned out. As always, fam, you know we reading the headline, reading in between the line to let them know that we here to inform, understand, and be aware that if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, that's how we see it as a duck and nothing else and nothing further. And it's duck hunting season. As always, fam, you know, I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all for the conversation, for your time, for your loyalty, for your love, speaking and understanding, you're listening, giving me your ear to get a little more understanding that you didn't know about something you probably didn't yesterday, that you can know today, and that's definitely love. As always, fam, you already know, you see the cash app, you see the super chat, $1.50, it don't matter. It's all the love and support because this can reach others. As always, I need you to like, comment, and share this with the world to make sure that we can reach out and touch somebody's hand to make the world a better place if you can, fam. As always, you already know, bam, never forget, No Filters Classic, raffles, always in the building. One woman, one man have their chance to win a No Filters Classic hoodie signed by your boy Dilla T. And my fam here, No Filters, sponsored by Nene Love Savvy TV in the building, understanding that we tuning in and making sure we all good. As always, fam, you know I truly appreciate you coming in, because you know when you come in, you got to get you something to eat. You got to get you something to drink. And you got to get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. You know you in here with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. Good night, family. Y'all be safe. God bless you. It's love.